guess what? It's that time again. Believe it or not, it has already been a month. God, time flies when you are spending every hour writing and producing and scoring and editing videos. No. I love it. I love you guys. I love all of you. And I love bringing you into my world for like a half an hour or a month. Admittedly, it's a weird world. And trust me, it's about as long as you'd probably want to spend there anyway. Whatever. Point is, if you like these videos, please give us a like, a subscribe, a share, anything. It'll help us spread the word about chronic illness and disability. But either way, it's time, once again, without further ado, for the CBNN, the Chronic Briefs News Network. Okay, so we're going to start, as we usually do, with some news about rheumatoid arthritis. Some people say I might be biased towards RA because I have it. And well, frankly, that is just exactly right. That's exactly right, because I have it and I am biased towards it, so I know it. Anywho, researchers have discovered that patients with a higher BMI, a body mass index, are associated with a higher risk for chronic opioid use, well, according to a study published in Arthritis Care and Research. According to the findings, patients who were obese were at a higher risk of overall opioid use. Their overall conclusion was a focus on the prevention and management of obesity in order to stem the use of chronic opioids in patients with arthritis. Now, there are so many things I want to say here, but I'll try to keep it civil. First of all, let's consider the fact that one of the most widely used rheumatoid arthritis medications causes severe weight gain and bloating. And of course, I'm talking about steroids, mainly prednisone. I myself was almost 100 pounds heavier, when I was on it. And the only thing that helped me get through that horrendous time was taking my pain meds. Telling RA patients that they'll need less pain meds if they just lose some weight is like telling a lion they could be vegan if they just tried some tofu every once in a while. Yeah, it's not a thing. It's a vicious cycle. RA patients don't go to the doctor to have them tell us to exercise in order to lose weight, in order to take less meds. We go to the doctor to tell them we want to exercise and lose weight and take less meds. They've got the whole thing backwards. If we were able to exercise and lose weight in the first place, we wouldn't need the pain meds. So anyway, TLDR, the Nobel Prize contenders who did this study concluded that you need pain meds because you have RA. Genius. A new study from researchers at Johns Hopkins has seemingly busted an old myth surrounding caregivers and the detrimental effects of caring for someone who is chronically ill and disabled. For years, it was assumed that the stress and guilt of being a caregiver negatively affected the health of said caregiver. I mean, it seems like common sense, right? We've all been there. Our caretaker, whoever it is, well, let's be honest, they become the brunt of our bad moods, our sadness, our momentary lapse of strength. Whatever it is, they're always the ones in the line of fire. And unfortunately, sometimes our stuff just splatters all over them whether we want it to or not. Well, this new study claims that beyond the normal increase of risk from aging, they found that caregivers didn't have significantly greater inflammation over a 9-year period of study. They went on to say that while stressful in certain situations, understatement of the year, while stressful in some situations, caregiving is not associated with a clinically meaningful increase in sickness. Pretty crazy, right? I mean, we all know how the caregiver/disabled and chronically ill person relationship usually goes. It's kind of like the border between North and South Korea. The tension is always there. It's always there. And sometimes it boils over and someone just fires off a missile into the South China Sea, metaphorically. But anyway, usually the DMZ, the demilitarized zone, holds and you get along fine. Now, if you didn't understand any of that, it's time to go and study some geography. For the rest of you, though, now, when you get mad at your caregiver for asking if you're okay 15 times in the same day, you can't really say anymore, I hope you understand what it's like to be sick one day, because apparently they never will. Okay. File this next one in the Weird and Wild Reports category. Also, this news item is just rife with opportunities for puns, and you know how much we love a good pun around here. So buckle up, Chuck. It's going to be a pumpy ride. See, I can't stop. Anyway, So, researchers at the hospital of Guangzhou University in Chinese medicine have discovered that the tongues of people with different types of heart failure and pancreatic cancer look totally different from those of healthy patients. Yes, it seems that normal tongues are pale red with a white coating. Heart failure patients have a much redder tongue and have the appearance of a yellow coating, which becomes more and more yellow as the condition worsens. Yes, it seems that tongues are actually the mood ring of the heart. Who knew? You don't say. The microorganisms and bacteria that live on your tongue. Yes, by the way, things live on your tongue. So there's that bit of fun info which you probably didn't know. Anyway, the type of bacteria that they find on your tongue can indicate what you are suffering from. In fact, bacteria is so different, apparently there was no overlap between the heart failure group of microorganisms and the healthy group of organisms, which I'm sure can leave a bad taste in your mouth. They just keep coming, I'm sorry. Further testing is needed, but apparently they are claiming this could be much easier non-invasive way to test for heart failure and that other illness I mentioned. What was it? It's right on the tip of my tongue. I know. That was a long way to go on that pun, but I think it was worth it. I mean, if I ended up tongue-tied after our heart-to-heart talk, then I'd really be down in the mouth. Oh my God, I am on a roll. Is there an award for most puns in one video? Because I should definitely be nominated for my silver tongue. Okay, we're done. I promise. Okay, finally today, we have a report that is not one I am particularly happy with, as it seems to perpetuate the ongoing war against pain meds and the patients who need them. Researchers at LSU Health New Orleans have discovered a new class of drugs to relieve pain and reduce fever with the danger of addiction or the risk of damage to liver and kidneys lessened. The study, published online in the European Journal of Medical Chemistry, set out to find an analog to acetaminophen that was less toxic to the body, and they've apparently succeeded, saying that current drugs have unwanted side effects such as the aforementioned toxicity, and here's the real kicker. They said, and I quote, "Opioids can not only cause addiction, but studies have shown that they can be no more effective at treating pain than non-narcotics." Yeah, that's what they said. In other words, Tylenol and Oxycontin are pretty much on par with one another. Hey, I have an idea for an experiment. Let's take the researchers who did this study and then hand them the pain I live with every day. Then tomorrow morning, as they rise and shine all snug in their beds, and then suddenly realize they feel like they've been hit by a Mack truck full of sharks with bazookas, I'm going to be there. Acetaminophen in one hand, opioid in the other. But when they reach for the opioid, I'll remind them that studies have shown that narcotic medication is no more effective at relieving pain than NSAIDs. And I will again offer them the acetaminophen. Yeah, these studies' goal will be to determine how many researchers beat the crap out of me until I give them the opioid medication. My prediction is I'll be beaten to a bloody pulp. But hey, at least I'll have Tylenol afterwards. Anyway, that wraps up this month's Chronic Illness News here on CBNN, the Chronic Brief News Network. As always, the links for the stories can be found in the video description if you want to read all the jargon yourself, but be warned, it gets pretty technical and also pretty boring. Tune in next month for more chronic illness news with me, your host. You know, I really need a newscaster name. Yeah, one that fits with the theme. You know, like Gail Weathers is a meteorologist, so I'd be like Arthritis? Yeah, nah. You know what, that's too on the nose. Anyway, we'll come up with a good newscaster name for next time. But if you like the video, please give us a like, a subscribe, anything. It'll help us get our message out to as many people as possible. And as always, you know it, be kind, rewind, keep on keeping on, and we'll talk soon. This is Arthritis signing off. No, I hate it.